like everybody here, watching to see how Forest do, watching to see how Arsenal start, of course, and they get the win. But for Forest, it could be a long season. And before the end of this month, Steve Cooper made it clear post-match, Martin, that, we need more bodies through the door.
If we really want to grow and get better and improve in this league, we need to bring some players in. So I really hope that the club can do that now. So because, like I said, it doesn't get any tougher than this league. We managed to survive last season. We did it in a certain way, and we've got to try and evolve that. But to do that, we need to add to the starting team and consequently then to the squad. So fingers crossed that that sort of stuff can kick in, because we need it.
I mean, Martin, fingers crossed that we can do it. It should be, surely it should be more concrete than that. We are going to do that. I've spoken to Marinakis, the owner. We're agreed as one. We're going to do it. We're going to get more people in.
Well, first of all, I'm slightly surprised at they asking for wanting more players, because Nottingham Forest this time last year signed about 123, and so I have a problem now. A lot of the players that came in, Let me preface this by saying the reason I thought Nottingham Forest would stay up last season is because if they hit a lot of injuries, at least they would have a number of players of similar ilk to come in and take places, so they wouldn't struggle like maybe some of the sides with lesser resources. But now this season they've come in, they've signed Alanga, who made a big difference in the game. He came on. The big centre forward only came on as well at the same time, Awoniyi, and they've got Johnson and they've got Gibbs White. So they have definitely attacking prowess in their side. They spent too long in the game, as far as I was concerned, in trying to stifle Arsenal. And it was only when Arsenal couldn't put the game to bed, Arsenal had won 2-0 and then starting to coast through the game, that Nottingham Forest felt as if this is a chance. And the minute they got a goal, I think it was about the 82nd minute or something like this here, then suddenly it was Arsenal became the side that was hanging on at the end of the day. So if I can take this game in isolation, then Nottingham Forest did fine towards the end of the game. Took too long to get into it, as far as I was concerned. And I even said in commentary, go and have a go. And their away record last season was pretty poor. But I think they can learn a lot from this game. I think they now feel as if they have the attacking prowess to go and commit themselves going forward a little bit more. But in terms of players, I know they might have lost one or two, but there'll still be a lot of players around that football club.
So you would be making the noises that Cooper's making?
No, it's not. I'm a football manager. I want everybody that's coming in. If the owner's saying, "Well, listen here, do you need this, and this?" I would be delighted. I wouldn't have minded getting those things from Marinakis away back at the time, But
that was coming.
But anyway, okay, that's beside the point. I'm just saying to you that I think that they have the wherewithal. I don't think that Nottingham Forest will struggle this season on the strength of what they did towards the end of the game. But remember, I'm talking about a one-off match. Yeah. Things change like everything else. But that's my point.
See, I thought this was a combination of tactful disrespect laced with irony. For the points that Martin's made, the irony of it is that the whole world and his mother were piling in on poor Steve Cooper last year because this awful errant owner of his was signing far too many players. And ultimately it was a terrible thing for him to experience. At the same time, he will know the conversations that he's having with his chief executive. He will know if they're going to be getting players, if they've agreed to get players, if players are part and parcel of the acquisition policy. So he doesn't need to play it out in front of the media because he's just lost the football match. The bottom line is that if he starts falling into that trap, all the relationship that he's had previously with Marinakis, when everybody felt, I didn't think he would, but most people felt that Marinakis was going to give him the axe. And he didn't. He gave him a new contract and gave him a recognition and probably a shot in the arm because of the conventional wisdom, albeit sometimes not particularly conventional, suggested that he was about to get his walking papers. Yeah. And that gave him an extra bonus. And now, you've got to remember last year, Forest were poor away from home for the bulk of the season, and that's a conscious choice to some extent. If you can play at home, with due respect, you can put a little bit more of a leg out when you're playing away from home as well. And they chose not to until the very end of the season. There were 3 teams that have just come up that showed no evidence whatsoever that they should be giving Forest any real run for their money for the relegation spots, because we saw it from Luton, we saw it from Sheffield United, and maybe Burnley might be the pick of the litter. But right now, this conversation about Nottingham Forest being in the bottom 3 is a bit previous.
Well, I think now, Martin, looking at it, on Friday, Forest have got Sheffield United. So would you agree that maybe Steve Cooper's got to start challenging his thoughts, not so much who do we need through the door, how do we beat this lot on Friday night?
Of course, yes.
Got to get 3 points on Friday night.
And I think by the end of the game on Saturday, I think that he will have felt, listen, I have something here now. Elanga's just come through the door, but Elanga looked as if he was going to be a half-decent player as a kid at Manchester United, and suddenly it disappeared. So maybe this is the move that's going to take place. Awoniyi came in and scored some goals last season. You would say that his goals probably kept Nottingham Forest up. But they have something. There's a bit of strength about that side, believe it or not. Defensively, they might need to improve a little bit. Yeah. But they sometimes they feel they have safety in numbers, and they spent the first 25 minutes of the game against Arsenal in their own half. But overall, I think that Nottingham Forest, I agree with Simon, Nottingham Forest will not be thinking about relegation this season, considering the sides that you've just mentioned, who might not have the wherewithal to do anything in the transfer market.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.